Hey friends, you're listening to Why This, a podcast where a couple of food scientists learn why people love the things they love. Today's topic is jam bands. Welcome to Why This, as always, brought to you by DraughtLab. DraughtLab helps food and beverage producers improve the taste and quality of their products with best-in-class sensory software, tools, and training. Visit DraughtLab.com to learn more or reach out to us on social media if you're interested in becoming a better taster. I'm your host, Lindsay Barr, with my co-host, Matt Conyer. And as sensory scientists, we kind of deal in experiences all the time. So when we were thinking about different immersive experiences that aren't directly tied to food and flavor, that's where we started to come up with the topic for today.
Yeah, so we've got this list of topics we're always adding and removing things from. And today's topic, jam bands, I think it fits what you're talking about because, it has large, very passionate followings. They're certainly unique unto themselves. And also just thinking about being there, it's not just the music that's on stage it's the people, it's immersive. So perfect thing to dive into.
Yeah, so one of the first people that I thought of was Sydney Zagger, who is the lab manager and sensory scientist at Russian River Brewing Company. I'm hoping that she can give us some insight into what makes jam band music and, dare I say, lifestyle so compelling and sensorially encompassing. Being that she's a sensory scientist, I hope she can kind of speak our language. So, Sydney, thank you for being here, first of all.
Thank you guys. Yeah, thanks, Lindsay. It's great to see you again. Nice to meet you, Matt. Super happy to be here. So excited. I feel like I've been preparing for this for the past 14 years of my life. So I'm ready to go.
This is going to be great.
That's so awesome. So, Sydney, first of all, as kind of a novice in this space, if I were to get invited and to show up to one of these shows, what can I expect? Like, what are some of the key characteristics that make it very obvious that I am indeed at a jam band show?
Well, if you want to talk about a sensory experience, you're going to get it from the moment you walk in. Even just outside, there's something called a Shakedown Street. It's kind of like a gathering of people prior to the concert. So it's kind of like this open air market party of people who are there to see the concert, there to make their living, to keep following the band with the excitement of ready to get inside the venue to see the show. So that's going to be your first thing. When you walk in the doors, there's going to be a smell. There's some things that they like to partake in, and they're not afraid to do it whenever. So you're going to smell some people, smell some things. So that's going to be part of it as well. And then once you get in, especially in indoor shows, like that's when you start hearing the noises of the crowd, and that's when you start to feel like the energy. So you're going to see sights, there's going to be sounds, there's going to be smells, there's going to be everything. So I think from your perspective, from our perspective, like it's going to be a sensory experience for sure with lots to expect.
Immersive, all-encompassing experience. So we asked you to come up with your top three reasons why people are into jam bands, why they're passionate about jam bands. So let's dive in. What's your first reason?
First reason, okay, so I'm going to give the hokiest reason first because I think the other two may be a little more interesting. But the people are so awesome. I meet the nicest people, the funniest people, the kindest people, the weirdest people at jam band shows. So that's just been such a great time. It's the kind of place where you can walk in and you don't need to know anybody, but you're going to leave with friends. When I moved to Los Angeles, I didn't know anybody who liked jam bands. That's kind of a weird thing. It's like this culty thing that somehow they can sell out Madison Square Garden like 5 nights in a row, but I can never meet someone in the wild who likes these shows. So going there and just talking to your neighbors, you never feel alone. You always feel comfortable. And that's just what makes me keep going back.
That's great. We were really curious about kind of what is the journey to get into some of this stuff. So a few questions. One, what was your first ever concert? Not jam band concert, but just any concert.
NSYNC was my first concert. Yeah. I saw them drop in as astronauts from the ceiling. Yeah, it was pretty epic.
That's amazing. Okay, and so the second question. So one was we were thinking first concert experience. The other one was, did your parents listen? Was there a lot of music in the house? Was there any influence from them?
Yeah, so my parents, my dad and mom, they're more on the like the rock end. They always like to put them like punk rock or alternative rock. They weren't really into jam bands at all. And I didn't really
Okay.
know what jam bands were. And when I was a kid or even just growing up, I heard Grateful Dead and I thought it was some weird heavy metal band. And Fish, I thought it was some weird Christian rock band. So
Yeah.
I really didn't know. I actually got into it through high school friends, and actually, one of my high school girlfriends, her older brother was really into Fish, and we just raided his room and found like stacks of CDs of just like concerts and set lists, and I just started listening to them, and then from there, I just fell in love, and it was something that just got sparked.
Yeah, so that's interesting that you came to jam band music actually through the music. It sounds like a lot of people kind of come in through like the experience and the concerts, but you're genuinely like it's the music. It's good music.
Yeah, and it wasn't until a few years later that I even got to go to a concert because even though I was into this music and these bands, none of my friends really were. And my first jam band concert was Fish, and my dad actually brought me because he's a cool guy, cool dad, and it was like, okay, like I know your friends aren't going to want to do this, so let's just go. So that was really cool, awesome experience to have as like my first concert and share it with my dad. So it holds a special place in my heart.
All right, so let's go ahead and get to your second reason why jam bands are such a thing.
So, second reason is it's a psychedelic experience, but no drugs involved. If you were to Google psychedelic experience definition, because I actually did this, it's a little more intense than I think what I'm trying to explain, but I'm still going to go with it. It's kind of like an altered state if you let it be. You kind of tap into this like different level of consciousness. Your perceptions are open. It's almost like a non-verbal communication that's happening
Hmm.
between you and the band, you and the fans around you, the music. It's kind of just like this interplay of energy that's happening.
That makes a lot of sense. If I talk to friends that go to these shows or do this kind of thing, if I ask a question like, "Oh, what's your favorite song?" or "What do you go for?" They don't speak in those terms. I feel like it's more like moments that get conveyed to me. Like, "Oh, it
Hmm.
was this time when this was going on. This just happened to be playing, but it's not my favorite song, but it's my favorite moment." And is that kind of speaking a little bit to what you're talking about?
Totally. So yeah, that's kind of the next thing I was going to say. It's like you have to honestly be in the moment when you're there because the whole thing with jam bands, it's improvised. So you don't know what's going to happen next, and you don't know what to expect. So you're just living in the moment, letting whatever happens happens, and just pure reacting to that.
All right, love that. So let's go into your third reason why jam bands are such a thing.
Well, I kind of touched on it in the reason before. So, part of it is that you never know what you're going to expect. You never know what
Mhm.
songs you're going to hear. And everyone has favorite songs. Everyone has like a dream set list that they want to hear. So, my third reason is the chase, just the chase of the band. I think pretty unique to the jam band community and is kind of why it creates this like crazy following. They have songs that people call bust outs, is what they call them, because they might only play it one in 100 shows or 1 in 200 shows.
Mm.
So, and everyone, you got to get that on your list. It's kind of like a check mark for a lot of these things. So, what's the best way to increase the chance of getting it is just see more shows.
So who are these bands? Who are you chasing these days?
Number one, Goose on my sweatshirt.
All right. Yeah.
they're they're new to the game a little bit. They're from Connecticut. They've been around for like maybe probably about 10 years, but really on the scene for like 5 years. So they're one of my favorites. Fish has been one of my long-term time favorites as well. I've seen around like 50 Fish shows at this point. And then Grateful Dead.
Oh.
That's also my best favorite one. So
Now, so the Dead and Company have John Mayer in it, which came from more of a pop culture thing. Are those shows different, or is he just been embraced? Is it a different crowd
That's a hot topic, and I definitely have opinions on
Ooh,
it.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah. I think at this point he's embraced, but when it he came on, people are like, who the heck is this guy? Why is he here? There's definitely two sides, but it's just up to your own personal opinion of how you want to like view it.
sure. So he doesn't do a 30-minute rendition of Your Body is a Wonderland? That's not a part of
he
it?
he actually went viral in the jam band community a few months ago by doing Body is Your Wonderland into a Grateful Dead song, then back into Body is Your Wonderland, and people lost their minds.
I have not done any research on this, Lindsay. I don't know how. Yes. Got
That's
it.
so awesome.
All right. So
What
I
next?
got a random question for you. I think this is the best way to frame it. If I were to put you and a Swiftie into a room together and lock the door, what would you all have in common?
Uh-oh. You you know my trigger points, I think.
Man. Okay. Go for
Taylor
it.
Swift is not my favorite artist.
Sure.
I'll say that. That's, something I'll just say. What would we have in common? Well, we both go to the shows. I'm sure the energy is something that is non-specific to a jam band concert. I think that's probably why a lot of people go see concerts, even if maybe they're not even aware and they're just going to see their favorite person play their favorite songs and be with their best friends while they do it. I think I'm doing the same thing as well. Articulating the energy and the communication between the crowd and the artist is something I'm tuned into that I'm sure that Swifty would also be able to recognize as well. And I think we would agree on that topic. So if we were locked
Sure.
in a room, I would be cordial and I would
Of course.
choose to talk about that.
We know this. Yeah. All right. Maybe we bridge the gap, Lindsay. Maybe we did it.
Yes.
Maybe we helped somewhere.
We're really doing the work. We're really doing the work.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the things that I was just reading about and thinking about is the overlap with the style and just the clothing that people wear. So any kind of outward signal to kind of suggest that you are kind of a part of this community, I think is pretty cool. There was a couple of different articles that were written about specifically like jam band style. So do you also adhere to the jam band style? And if so, like what is it?
I'm not really. I think I'm a little bit out of place when I go to jam band concerts, but that's just me. I anything that looks like it could have a label on it, I just try to steer away from. But the jam band outfit is tie dye, as much freaking tie dye as you can wear, and most mismatched like patterns. I think that's the quintessential jam band look. The other thing you'll see a million of are what they call like bootleg shirts. So it'll just be like a brand logo or something, but instead of actually the words of that brand, it will say like a song or something. So you'll walk around and see a lot of those things.
Well, this was really enlightening. I am really excited to check out a jam band. Will you take me, Sydney? We live close to
Yeah,
each other.
San Francisco has a great jam band scene. We'll definitely go.
Yes, yes, we were just talking about that. So
Mhm.
thank you for enlightening us. This was a lot of fun, and I'm so excited to go, but only for one night. I don't know if I can handle 3 in a row.
That's fine. You gotta step toe in, but who knows? That one night you might want to just be go
It
back
might
the
open the
next time.
floodgate. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So thank you for coming on, Sydney. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you guys. This is awesome. Pleasure to meet you, Matt and Lindsay. Thanks so much. This is a great time.
Why This is produced by the team at DraughtLab, where we help companies demystify consumer experiences through flavor analysis. To learn more, reach out through our website. And of course, like, subscribe, do all the things, and listen to some great music.